from 2015. Australia's education system is a high standard. She has deserved her reputation for academic excellence, and she is flawed and needs reform. Both statements are true, but the case for effective reform is stymied by misrepresentations of issues. Cheating by students is a problem everywhere in the world, and new technology is making it very challenging for universities to preserve free and open inquiry while maintaining rigorous standards. Yet without strong evidence to the contrary, that is being done. Also, it is historical and legendary that students are not competent but prone to alcoholic indulgence and partying. It is hardly likely that Chinese students are alone in this. Also, the issues of assignments and group work is misunderstood by participants and sometimes the educators themselves. No student graduates based on group work. Australia has a growth industry with international students which is independent of the mining boom or internal economic success cycle. Their fees help subsidize Australians in higher education. Not all international students are wealthy. Some third world nations send their students to Australia to be educated but leave it to students to work and find accommodation, while the government denies those students basic amenities and tax relief. Many turn a blind eye as the students are exploited. Maybe some turn to prostitution to fund their studies. Many also work above hours for cash in hand. Many international students can't party and fraternize with local students, and that could fuel envy on both sides. Australia's higher education system needs reform. She is not biased, but partisan with the left, with senior academic boards overrun with ALP favouring appointments that vote in blocks against independent academics, which is partly why there are so few conservative think tanks in Australia, or conservative media journalists. Students are overly subsidised. No one seriously suggests not subsidizing students, but the current levels are unsustainable, so that our children will not be able to enjoy a fair education our students do. Upper-tier universities like the University of New South Wales, Sydney, Melbourne, and a few others would like to do postgraduate duties, which they do very well, while universities like UWS and Newcastle could do much better focusing on undergraduates, but the government won't let them do it for equity reasons, irrelevant to excellence in education. Stories of students cheating dates back to the formation of schools in ancient Greece and ancient China, but universities are resilient to cheating practices, and there is no evidence of widespread cheating as it is claimed by some. There is evidence that universities aren't producing students satisfactory to business, but the international students anecdotally are superior to local students in all areas except language, and sometimes they exceed there too. But group work is hell even where there is none of the celebrated diversity. When Joan Kerner was lauded for her second-rate secondary education reforms, group work was all the rage. It took reforms introduced by my father, the late Professor Samuel Ball, to address those issues, and I'm confident universities employ those techniques today, so that group work assignments get followed by related tests, and students who did not do the assignments would not know how to excel at those tests. The students are not aware of all the things universities do to spot cheating, nor should they know. It is their job to learn their course, not how to cheat. There is no history of most students satisfying with their skills gained through studies. The highest achieving students, however, are a good group to focus on student achievement over time. International students bring Australia credit. Turnbull won't push for reform in this election cycle. Canada has lost an extremely good Prime Minister for the son of an inept one. And for some, at the moment, the Sex Party has more credibility.